Welcome to another math video. We're talking about the surface area of cones now, and we're not going to derive the surface area of a cone. We're just going to kind of give it to you. The formula for the surface area for a cone, well, there's two sides. If we were to draw out a cone, there's the bottom, and then there's the lateral surface. Sorry, that's terrible. So there's this lateral surface, and then there's the bottom as well. The bottom is pi r squared, and the lateral surface is just pi r s. So if we had a cone, the surface area of the cone would be pi r squared plus pi r s. So if we want to calculate the surface area of each cone, and we're going to round to the nearest tenth, let's try this out. The surface area of the cone is going to be pi r squared plus pi r s. And the s is standing for the slant height of this object. So the slant height is the distance from the edge, the bottom edge of the cone, to the tip of the vertex, as opposed to the height of the cone itself, the vertical height. So the surface area of this cone, pi, well, the radius is 7, so 7 squared, plus pi r, the radius is 7, and the slant height is 15. When I put this into my calculator, so we'll go pi times r squared plus pi times 7 times 15, and we're going to get 483.805 something blah 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 meters squared. So we're going to round that to the nearest tenth, 483.8 square meters. Perfect. We will try another one here, and this is another case of if we want the surface area, it's pi r squared plus pi r s. Do we have the radius? Yes, we have the radius. It's 5.1 meters. Do we have the slant height? No. No, we do not have the slant height here, but we can get the slant height. So over on the side here, I'm going to draw a diagram. The slant height is the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. The height of the cone is 14. The radius is 5.1. So what we want to do, s squared equals 5.1 squared plus 14 squared. S squared is going to be 222.01. So if we take the square root of that, we're going to get 14.9 meters. Perfect. So the slant height is actually 14.9 meters. Perfect. So the surface area, we know it's pi r squared, so pi times r squared, r is 5.1, plus pi r, which is 5.1, times s, which is 14.9. And when I calculate all of this out, pi times 5.1 squared plus pi times 5.1 times 14.9, and we get 320.4424 blah 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 meters squared, and we want to round it to the nearest tenth again. So this is 320.4 square meters. Perfect. The key here again is recognizing that they're not giving us the slant height. We have to find it using Pythagorean theorem. So let's try another one. The surface area of this cone is 320.44 square meters. Determine the slant height. So we want to determine the slant height, but it doesn't give us really any other information other than the surface area. Let's try this out. Surface area is pi r squared plus pi rs. So let's see, do we have the surface area? Yes. Do we know what pi r squared is going to be? Yes. Do we know what pi is? Yeah. Do we know what r is? Yeah. We want to find s. I'm going to toss in the values for my radius right now, but because pi is an irrational number, I'm going to leave pi for a little bit. I'm going to leave it kind of out for a second. That's at least for right now. So let's toss in the values that we do know. Surface area is 320.44. Pi r squared, so pi r is 6 squared plus pi, and then r is 6 again, and then we're multiplying by s. If we want to solve for s, if we want to rearrange this equation to find s, well, let's just kind of simplify a little bit more. 320.44 equals 6 squared is 36 pi plus 6 pi times s. If we want s, let's subtract 36 pi from both sides. So 320.44 minus 36 pi. And then once we've subtracted 36 pi, we can divide by 6 pi. So s is going to be 320.44 minus 36 pi divided by 6 pi. And because pi is an irrational number, we're going to get a bunch of huge decimals. We're going to leave pi there for now. It was way easier to rearrange. Trust me on that one. So if s is 320.44 minus 36 pi, all divided by 6 pi, when I put that into my calculator, I end up getting the slant height is 10.9998699 something meters. And if we want to round to the nearest whole meter, well, that's pretty darn close to 11 meters. So the slant height is 11 meters. The key here is don't plug in pi because you're going to get a bunch of huge decimal numbers. Just plug in your other values and then use pi as almost like a, not a variable, but it's a number that you don't want to substitute yet because it's going to be irrational.